Probably not the first question to ask, but Jacob, you've got 2 years eligibility left technically. I assume that you're coming back and you graduated in May.
Yeah, I'll be back next year for sure.
What's your potential for growth? What do you see that you need to work on?
Yeah, there's a lot of areas that I kind of found myself struggling this year. Was and I mean any of the coaches will tell you this, just kind of getting bigger and keep getting stronger, being able to hold my own. I feel like I do a decent job, with my technique and stuff like that. But just having a little bit extra weight on me would help a lot. Just kind of playing in the box more and good weight, obviously, still being able to run routes and catch the ball well. But just adding some good weight this offseason.
Eric and Brent.
So do you feel like you've made the most strides this year, kind of coming into a new offense from spring to now?
Yeah, I think I made a big jump in just my confidence and my abilities and the way that I'm able to play on the field. I think I did a good job, mentally this year, kind of taking in all the different things that they asked tight ends to do. Me and Princeton have both, I really feel like, made big strides there, being able to recognize a signal, get lined up, and kind of help other guys. If somebody's lined up in the wrong area, kind of being a leader and being a commander out there. So.
Jacob, Coach Golish was here, I guess, last week. He talked about how big of a jump this offense and guys can make from year one to year two. How big of a jump do you think you can make personally, by having a year of this offense under your belt? And at the same time, how hard is it to figure out what they're doing and get a grasp of the playing that fast and understanding everything you're supposed to understand?
Yeah, I think it's just like anything, honestly. The second year is going to be much easier just because you don't have to work out all the little kinks. You don't have to experience those things that you go through. You're like, oh wow, that was wrong. Like I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I learn now that I can't do this or that to get myself ready for a game. I guess on Saturday, they call it the process, right? So it's your Monday through Friday, whatever. Now having a better understanding of that process, it'll just be more productive early on. I think is kind of what I'm getting at. You won't have that lag that you have in the beginning of the season where you kind of, are trying to get your feet underneath you. And we'll have a full spring already. Everybody knowing the plays, just having to teach the young guys that come in. So.
Ben and Patrick.
Jacob, just what's the working dynamic between you and Princeton, and just how much have you been in his ear about making sure he comes back and kind of joins you next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we both really enjoy playing with each other and playing alongside each other, and I think it's unique the way that we operate here is because we truly split. Like each series that we go in there, you'll see one of us in there, and then the next time we're out there, it'll be the other one. And I'm really grateful for him because he's been great throughout the whole thing, not trying to be selfish about any reps, and he knows that. If he's out there and he scores a touchdown or something, I mean, if you watch, I'm literally the first one running down there to celebrate with him because I know he'd do it for me. So, just been blessed and lucky to have a good guy to be alongside, and I think just that that relationship is what would hopefully keep him to come play with us next year.
Jacob, in terms of the role that you guys played as tight ends, was it what you expected? Was there anything different from what maybe they explained to you or what you thought coming into the season?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty similar to what I expected. They talked about, being the moving piece and having to adjust our alignments based on the call and, flipping sides and, changing our alignments within the core. And, they told us that it was going to be, an adjustment and kind of a learning curve, but I think that we all picked up on it pretty quickly.
When did you kind of feel it sort of clicked into place with you understanding it, knowing what you needed to do?
Yeah, after each game, obviously they'll grade it. They'll grade it and break it down, and kind of you can kind of look at a number and be able to see something that will tell you how well you did, I guess. And after the first 2 games, my grades started going up. Me and Princeton, we would see up on the screen that we were grading out much higher than we, maybe were expecting. And you're like, wow, okay, I played much better than I thought, and that didn't look as bad as I thought it did. So just seeing that and having that confidence to keep going and trying to keep pushing that grade up, I guess, each week.
Go to the back and Rick.
Jacob, the familiarity of having Hendon come back, what does that mean for you in this Tennessee offense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's huge. I think that was the biggest question mark for our team in that little period of time whenever he was trying to decide what he wanted to do. And I had this conversation last night, actually, how you know, Joe is one of the most talented quarterbacks I think I've ever seen, like physically, like mentally. He's a great competitor, and I'm just excited that we're going to continue to have that depth at that position to where we can kind of trust both guys to roll in there and play. But I mean, yeah, Hendon coming back is obviously huge for this program and for me personally because he likes to throw the ball to me. So, you know, so I'm happy for that.
Eric and Ben.
So for you, not necessarily individually, but for the offense overall, when did you guys kind of hit that stride and kind of feel good about the offense you were running this season? And then how much better can you guys get from one year to next year?
When did we hit our stride? I don't know. I don't know, dude, it's a blur, I'm being honest. But there's like the few games there, right, where we play, you know, the first little bit of Georgia, play them tight. We're winning a few games. We play Ole Miss really tight. You know, we're going into Alabama thinking like, okay, we got some confidence. I think it's the ability to see these people that everybody's talking about, right, and being able to go out there and strap it up with them and and be able to operate and understand that the reasons, not the reasons, but some of the things that played into those games were self-inflicted, and that's the reason that we didn't have as much success as we feel like we could have. And so knowing that, like, that gives you the most confidence in the world. That helps you hit your stride, like you said. Kind of just keep the ball rolling. And I don't know, it just goes into next season too. Now seeing what we were able to do in the first year of this system and just understanding that it's only going to be better next year after we have a full off season to prepare.
Finish with Ben.
With Miles, how would you describe his game to somebody who hasn't seen him play, and just how much have you seen him grow since he arrived on campus?
Yeah, I mean, Miles is a guy, like, I would love to have the twitch that Miles has. I would love to have that, like, just pure athletic ability. He plays hard. Like, he's not a scared player. You know, he's going to get physical. He's not, obviously, I'll probably see in the stats, he's not the biggest guy, like, just physically, but I think he plays bigger than he is once he learns how to, you know, have balance when he's coming through blocks and doing all these other different things. Like, I think he's going to be a very good part of this unit because he can catch the ball really well, runs great routes, all that stuff. So once he just gets more of a feel, like, it's just growing up and playing better ball, getting a feel for defenses, getting a feel for the fronts and how people play and stuff. He'll be very productive.